Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm your instructor, facilitator, and mentor, Dr. Aisha Mahmood, and I welcome you all to the fourth week of the online course Introduction to Information Technology. Today, communications, media, and networks are breaking down classroom walls, allowing students to view the world beyond where they live and learn. The internet continues to expand students' learning beyond the covers of a textbook to include interactive, up to date, web and application based content. Never before has any technology opened so many opportunities for learning. The future will bring even more exciting applications to these technologies when combined with tablet computing. Federal and provincial governments, private businesses, and organizations are investing a lot in internet related hardware and software for schools, colleges, and universities. As a result of this substantial investment, many public and private institutions are equipping their classrooms with multimedia computers and providing teachers and students with access to the internet. Last week we have discussed about internet and this week we will discuss communications, networks and the World Wide Web. Explain how they work and reviews how students, teachers and administrators can use these technologies to communicate, obtain almost unlimited educational information and enhance students' learning. After completing this week's content, you will be able to define communications, identify the basic components of communication system, describe how and why network computers are used in schools and higher education, describe features of browsers and identify the components of web address, describe ways to compose effective search texts, explain benefits and risks of using online social networks, describe uses of various types of websites. You would also be able to explain how the web uses graphics, animation, audio, video, and virtual reality. Explain how email lists, internet messaging, chat rooms and online discussions, voice over internet protocol, and FTP work. Identify the rules of netiquette. Describe the educational implications of the internet and the World Wide Web. Describe different ways to connect to the internet and the World Wide Web. Describe the pros and cons of Web 2.0 tools for teachers and students. After completing this lecture's content, you will be able to define communications, you will be able to identify the basic components of communication system, and you would be able to describe how and why network computers are used in schools and higher education. Communications and networks are the fastest growing areas of computer technology and digital media. Adding tremendously to this growth is the popularity of the Internet and the World Wide Web, also called as the web, which is a service of the Internet that supports graphics and multimedia. Together, the Internet and the World Wide Web represent one of today's most exciting uses of networks. Already, these networks have changed the way people gather information, conduct research, shop, take classes, and collaborate on projects dramatically. Businesses encourage you to browse their web based catalogs, send them email for customer service requests, and buy their products online. The government publishes thousands of informational web pages to provide individuals with materials such as legislative updates, text forms, and email addresses of members of government officials. Colleges have virtual tours of their campuses on the web, accept applications online, and offer thousands of web based classes. You may ask, what is communications? Communications, sometimes called telecommunications, describes a process in which two or more computers or devices transfer data, instructions, and information. The ability to communicate information instantly and accurately has changed the way people conduct business and interact with each other, and the way students learn. Electronic mail, which is now known as email, voicemail, fax, telecommuting, online services, video conferencing, the internet, and the World Wide Web are the examples of applications that rely on communications technology. Computers were standalone devices when they were first introduced. As computers became more widely used, companies designed hardware and software so computers could communicate with one another. Originally, developers created communications capabilities only for large computers. Today, even the smallest computers and the handheld devices can communicate with each other. This figure shows a sample communication system which can contain many types of devices. A communications network is a collection of computers and other equipment organized to share data, information, hardware, and software. A basic communication system consists of the following equipments: two computers, one to send and one to receive data. So the sender is the one who sends, and the receiver is one who receives. The second component or equipment is communications devices that send and receive data. And the third is communication channel over which data is sent. This basic model also includes computers software programs that manage the transmission of data between computers. A communications channel is the path that data follows as the data is transmitted from the sending equipment to the receiving equipment in a communications network. Communications channels are made up of transmission media, which are the physical materials or other means used to establish a communications channel. The most widely used transmission medium is twisted pair cable, as you can see in this picture. Twisted pair cable consists of pairs of plastic coated copper wires twisted together. Standard telephone lines in your home also use twisted pair cables. Other examples of transmission media include coaxial cable, fiber optic cable, microwave transmission, communication satellites, and wireless transmissions. Data signals are individual electrical pulses that computers used to represent data. Telephone equipment originally was designed to carry only voice transmission, which comprises a continuous electrical wave called an analog signal. For telephone lines to carry data, a communication device called a modem that converts digital signals into analog signals. The word modem comes from the combination of the words modulate, means to change a digital signal into sound or analog signal, and to demodulate, to convert an analog signal into digital signal. Computers at both the sending and receiving ends of this communication channel must have a modem for data transmission to occur. At the sending computer, a modem converts digital signals from the computer to analog for transmission over regular telephone lines. At the receiving end, a modem converts analog signals back to digital signals. Older computers purchased for home use included a dial-up modem that could transmit data at rates up to approximately 56K bits per second. A dial-up modem is a communication device that can convert digital signals to analog signals and analog signals to digital signals so that data can travel along an analog telephone line. A number of different kinds of modems are in use today. Many home and small business users are using cable modems and DSL modems. Those are called digital modems, which provide significantly higher data access rates than 56K. Cable modems provide broadband access over a cable television network, and DSL modem provide broadband access over telephone lines. These newer type of modems will be discussed later. Networks are classified as either local area networks or wide area networks. A local area network is a communications network that covers a limited geographical area, such as school, office building, or group of buildings. A LAN consists of a number of computers connected to a central computer or server. A server manages the resources on a network and provides a centralized storage area for software programs and data. The wireless LAN is a LAN that uses no wires. Instead of wires, a wireless LAN uses wireless medium such as radio waves. Then comes the wide area network. A wide area network covers a large geographical region such as a city or a district and uses regular telephone lines, digital cables, microwaves, wireless systems, satellites, or other combinations of communication channels. A WAN can consist of numerous LANs organized into one larger network. For example, a large district may establish a WAN that consists of dozens of LANs, each LAN representing an individual organization or institution. If you have multiple computers in your home or home office, you can connect all of them together with a home network. Some advantages of having a home network includes the following. All computers in the house can be connected to the internet at the same time. Each computer can access files and programs on the other computers. And all computers can share the same peripherals such as a scanner, printer, or DVD drive. Home networks can be either wired or wireless. To network computers and devices that span multiple rooms or floors in a home, it may be more convenient to use a wireless network, as you can see in this picture. Local cable and other internet service provider will help you set up a wireless home network for free or for a minimal installation charges. Monthly fees usually include the rental fee for a wireless modem. तो इस पिक्चर में अगर आप देखें कि स्टेप नंबर 1 अगर हम फॉलो करें टिल स्टेप नंबर 6 तो वी कैन सी कि एक होम नेटवर्क का प्रोसीजर क्या होता है। तो स्टेप नंबर 1 में हम सेटअप करते हैं फॉर हाई स्पीड इंटरनेट सर्विस सच एज थ्रू केबल और डीएसएल मॉडेम। फॉर एग्जांपल आप पीटीसीएल को रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि वी वांट अ डीएसएल कनेक्शन, तो वो आफ्टर प्रोसेसिंग द एप्लीकेशन दे कम टू यू with connection to your home or with the DSL modem. तो using a cable, step number 2 पे आ जाएं आप। using a cable अब आप क्या करेंगे, कनेक्ट करेंगे द नेटवर्क कार्ड इन अ डेस्कटॉप कंप्यूटर टू द कॉम्बिनेशन राउटर वायरलेस एक्सेस पॉइंट। तो आप अपने कंप्यूटर को कनेक्ट करेंगे अपने वायरलेस एक्सेस पॉइंट के साथ जो कि आपका डीएसएल मॉडेम है। स्टेप नंबर 3 में आप क्या करेंगे, यूजिंग केबल कनेक्ट करेंगे आप अपने मॉडेम को टू द सॉरी एक्सेस अपने पॉइंट को टू द डीएसएल मॉडेम। स्टेप नंबर 4 में आप ये करेंगे कि आप इंस्टॉल करेंगे वायरलेस नेटवर्क कार्ड और नेटवर्क अडेप्टर इन अदर डेस्कटॉप कंप्यूटर्स इन द होम नेटवर्क्स। और फिर आप इंसर्ट करेंगे एक यूएसबी अडेप्टर या पीसी कार्ड in each notebook computer that will access the home network or purchase a notebook computer with built-in wireless capabilities। जैसे कि आजकल वायरलेस बहुत कॉमन है तो यूजुअली वी डोंट गो फॉर नेटवर्क अडेप्टर्स, वी यूज द वायरलेस टेक्नोलॉजी। और अगर आपने जैसे मोबाइल को वायरलेसली कनेक्ट करना है तो दैट हैज़ ऑलरेडी द वायरलेस कैपेबिलिटी टू गेट कनेक्टेड विद द होम नेटवर्क। So it becomes very easy for you to get connected with the DSL modem once you activate your Wi-Fi on all your devices. Due to the extensive federal, provincial, and local funding, virtually all schools, colleges, and universities, even in Pakistan, have started networking their computers. Schools, colleges, and universities have installed networks for four reasons. Number one, to share hardware and software resources. Number two, to enable communications among schools and other organizations. Number three, to connect students and teachers to the internet. And number four, use and share information and data. An institution's network server connects all the computers located within that institution. A server manages the resources on a network and provides a centralized storage area for software programs and data. Typically, any teacher and students who use the network can access software and data on the server, although institution or network administrators can limit access to provide records and software applications। तो ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर के पास राइट्स होते हैं, वो आपको कुछ प्रिविलेजेस अगर नहीं भी देता तो उसके पास ये फैसिलिटी होती है, तो वो आपको लिमिटेड एक्सेस दे देता है। क्योंकि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल स्टूडेंट्स को कुछ चीज़ों में लिमिटेड एक्सेस मिलता है और टीचर्स को कुछ एक्स्ट्रा एक्सेस भी दिया जाता है नेटवर्क का। Not long ago, teachers used traditional telephones that were connected to the telephone company by cables to communicate with friends, family, and fellow teachers. Today, wireless technology allows teachers to keep in touch with friends and family from anywhere in the world using a variety of devices like a smartphone, a tablet computer, or a notebook. With high-speed internet access, teachers and students already are part of the wireless revolution that is taking place in education. Many colleges, universities, and schools have installed wireless networks and are utilizing wireless computers and other wireless devices. Many experts, including the Tim Cook, who is the CEO of Apple Computers, believe that the future of educational computing in both school education and higher education is wireless networks, वायरलेस टैबलेट कंप्यूटर्स एंड अदर वायरलेस डिवाइसेस। वो ये कहता है कि बहुत जल्द हम सब लोग वायरलेस पे शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे। Today, all major computer manufacturers provide wireless network solutions and devices for in different institutions. Devices include wireless keyboards, wireless notebook computers, wireless mobile labs, and many other devices. Over the past 10 years, school districts have concentrated on installing and upgrading the local and wide area network so that their teachers and students have internet access to their classrooms or at the point of instruction. Many institutional networks, however, do not provide their classroom computers with continuous high speed access to the internet. Access speeds vary greatly. Students and teachers must be provided continuous high-speed access to allow them to find and quickly download complex content-rich resources. The federal government recognizes this and this spearheading in initiatives to provide broadband access to schools, networks, and media that use broadband technologies transmit signals at much faster speeds than traditional network configurations. A recent Digital Pakistan drive is initiated in Pakistan as well and stated that the promise of the widely available high quality web based education is made possible by technological and communications trends that could lead to important digital media based education applications over the next few years. One benefit of networking is that administrators, teachers, and students can share computer hardware, software, and data resources available throughout the institution. For example, administrators can maintain all the student records and information securely at one central location. Teachers and administrative staff who have a need for access to student records can access various student information databases from just about any network computer at any location. By far, the most important benefit of networking school computers is that administrators, teachers, and students can access the unlimited educational resources which are available on the internet and communicate with other educators and students all over the world instantly. In brief, networking provides schools with limitless possibilities for teaching and learning. Without question, the introduction of networks and the internet into today's school has had and continues to have a dramatic impact on the current generation of teachers and students. So, we have covered in this lecture about communications, components of communication systems, network computers used in schools and higher education.